Hello, Gelato Familia. It's George, the Disney Italiano, coming to you with another live. And I thought, you know what? There's so much stuff that's going around. The Walt Disney Company, especially the Disney parks. Why not do a live? So I thought, you know what? Let's go and do this. So we have some people already in the chat. First up, we have Jesse Adventures, number one in the chat. Welcome in, Jesse. Glad to see you here. We have the Candid Camper. Welcome in. Let's see. We have Theme Park Conductor. Welcome in, everyone, and to one of my favorite co-hosts. Incredible job, Hollow Gelato. Well, thank you so much, Conductor. Greatly appreciate you. And definitely, everyone, go over and check out Theme Park Conductor's channel. He does awesome things over there, and I love collabing with him. We always have a great time. And we'll be actually doing a show pretty soon in the coming week. So definitely look out for that. And we have the wonderful, lovely Mademoiselle in the house. Welcome in. And we got Giant Peter Adventure. They're back. A dinosaur story. I don't know if anyone got that reference. Have you ever seen the Don Bluth animated movie, They're Back, A Dinosaur Story? I think that's what it was called. And George, it's 7:30 by you right now. No, so it's actually 4:31 my time. But on like the East Coast, it's 7:30. But in any case, as you guys can see with the thumbnail and everything, a lot's going on right now with the Disney parks and a lot of construction, and that's basically what I kind of set this live up to be. So we're going to kick it off. I'm going to share my screen. This is courtesy of laughingplace.com. And this is for let me see, maybe later. Thank you very much. Laughing Place says the office building getting demolished to make way for new Disneyland Resort parking structure. And for all of you who don't know, this is the one step closer for Disneyland Forward to start the Eastern Gateway project, which essentially will allow them to free up the parking lots of like the Simba lot and the Lilo and Stitch parking lot for future theme park development. And this even isn't just like in for the many decades of the future of Disneyland Forward. This also will start up for them to start on Pandora over at Hollywoodland, because we did get confirmation during DCA's 25th anniversary that it is still in the works for Pandora to go over into Hollywoodland, for which there have no new news. They just said coming soon, which it's already been several years. So we just have to wait and see on that. And then, of course, with Coco going over into the Pixar Pier. And I know, yes, I said Coco. Every time I say it, I could just like hear Bricky imitating me of saying Coco in my PA accent. But in any case, we'll get to that in a little bit because there's also an article on that. But yes, the office building is set to be demolished. So what's happening? As reported by the Orange County Register, Disneyland has filed a building permit with the city of Anaheim to demolish an office building to make way for construction of a 3.2 million square foot, 8-level parking structure. This building, known as Team Disney Anaheim East, is located within the Manchester cast member parking lot, which is where the new Eastern Gateway parking structure project will be located. This is not the main Team Disney Anaheim building, but rather a satellite office for the main building just north of Mickey's Toontown. The planned massive overhaul of the Eastern Gateway will see construction of a new pedestrian bridge, marquee, and parking structure. The new structure is expected to accommodate 6,000 vehicles and also feature a new rideshare area. Okay, so that pretty much gives some light on the fact of them getting rid of the ART bus system. So, I mean, but that's still a far ways away. So I wonder what they're going to do in the meantime, especially with the Uber and Lyft pickup and drop off area, because that's already a mess. This project is part of the Disneyland Forward project that will see the Disneyland Resort expand beyond its current boundaries in the years to come. The relocation of transportation facilities from the east side of the main property to this new location will allow for new attractions such as the planned Avatar land to be built. Work is scheduled to begin this fall on the multi-year construction project. And that's just and it says like new parking structure permit. So yeah, so I wanted to bring that up first, because I thought it's very key. It's very crucial that we talk about it, because now that they filed the permit, I mean, if we could actually start to see like all this stuff happening, because as I said, it's been several years since the city of Anaheim granted Disney the green light for Disneyland Forward, and we're just seeing all this now. And yes, I know you guys are like getting me on my East Coast accent, Orange County and boundaries. Hey, welcome in. And Florentin, bonjour, bonjour, buongiorno. Let's see. That original building is where Runaway Railway is today. Yes, that is very true. And Disneyland has to like finagle a lot of stuff, to work around for the Disneyland resort, which is very, Imagineers are used to doing stuff like that. Giant Peter, it was a joke since the backdrop is Orlando. Gotcha. Now I gotcha. So yeah, so technically, yeah, if you want to count the backdrop, yes, it is now 7:36. Hopefully later today or tomorrow, I will be posting about a Disney book nobody has been talking about that dropped for the 70th. Is that the book? I don't know if that's what you're referring to. The one that was it Tim O'Day and Don Hahn, or it was one of the two? Might have just been Don Hahn, but for some reason Tim O'Day is coming into my mind. Let's see. That country swang. Let's see. And Theme Park Conductor says, I am happy the Eastern Gateway project is finally happening. Me and Hollow Gelato have said this is crazy how long it's been taken since it's been announced like 2 years ago. It really is. It really is, Conductor. It's so, I mean, I'm glad it's better late than never, but does it really have to take that long just to build a parking structure? Now it makes me wonder, because to me, it still feels like Avatar got delayed. We still don't know a closing date for Monsters, Inc. Now, again, as I said, it has been confirmed as of right now, Avatar is still going into Hollywoodland, or at least the backlot area. And they're still not, when I went to the D23 event for DCA's 25th anniversary, they're still not calling it a land. They won't call it a land. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not, giving up on the fact that it will be, but I just think it's funny how they're beating around the bush with that. But any case, so yeah, so let me know what you guys think just overall of the parking structure, going up, and that's going to be very interesting. As I said, once I think that gets completed, then I feel like it's really going to be full steam ahead. I am crossing my fingers. Let's see, it was like $16 from Wondergron, and very cool. Let's see, they could have had it built and completed by now. Yeah, they really could have. They really, really could have. It's going to be a land. They don't call Pandora at Disney World Avatar Land. That is true, Peter. Very true. They don't call it Avatar Land. They just call it Pandora, the World of Avatar. But before they initially gave that title, they said it's a brand new land coming to Animal Kingdom. That's where they're not using it for this. They're calling it an experience. And then they went from experience to destination. So that's where they never used those terms when it came to Animal Kingdom. So that's what's making me worried. I find that funny that Disney refuses to call Avatar a land still. See, yeah, that's what I mean. Although I will say, I do wish that they would have just called Star Wars Land, because when they call it Galaxy's Edge. It's like Batu. Like, really, what is the title of it, really? Because the planet's called Batu, but they call it Galaxy's Edge, and it's from the universe of Star Wars. So I'm kind of like, I would have rather them just call it Star Wars Land. And if they called it Star Wars Land, give us every piece of the universe of Star Wars, But again, that's just me, folks. Now I'm also gonna share um, my screen again because we got some other things we're going to talk about in the world of Disney construction. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that's what we were talking about for the office building. Okay, I'm going to come back to this because I'm going to save that last. But this is courtesy of Drew, the Disney dude. Major Monstropolis construction update at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The project site has been expanded as work ramps up. Crews are actively working on the former Muppet Vision 3D theater. Massive crane has arrived on site for the suspended coaster. So they're in full swing. I kind of hope that they move this along quickly so it could actually open with Tropical Americas in 2027. I don't know if that's really how it's going to go. I'm still wondering if Monsters is going to open up in 2028. Because I forget who it actually might have been. It might have been Drew or it might have been Jack from DSNY or somebody mentioned it, that if they open Monsters in 2028, that would coincide with Piston Peak. It would kind of be like for Pixar because Cars and Monsters Inc. is Pixar. But I kind of hope that they would open it for the summer of 27 just to kind of get things rearing up again, because right now, Walt Disney World, there's like nothing really new. Although it is going to be new for Conductor and Tommy Tune because the whole thing's going to be new for them. So I'm very excited about that. But as far as for people who have been there time and time again, that there's nothing new on the horizon. So I think for a whole year, I think to open up Tropical Americas and Monsters Inc., that would be a blockbuster of a summer for sure. But in any case, continuing on with Monsters Inc., this is courtesy of Jack from DSNY Newscast. Construction update on Monsters Inc. land. Former Muppet Vision 3D brickwork facade has been partially removed in preparation for the installation of the Glob Theater's new marquee. No official details have been released, but it's expected to be a Monsters Inc. show. So here is the piece of concept art. They did update it. The original piece of concept art that they gave us for this land at D23 2 years ago. Wow, I can't believe. Well, almost 2 years ago, but that's still crazy. They changed the name to the Glob. So this is the new look it's going to have, and then this is a photo of them actually ripping out the piece of marquee for them to construct the new marquee from Monsters Inc. So yeah, so I thought that was really cool. I'm just gonna remove this for right now. I'm gonna come back because again, there's more that we're gonna talk about. But let's see. Let's catch up with the chat. Let's see. Giant Peter says there has been a lot of complaints over the last few years of how Disney does basic land names like Cars Land and Toy Story Land. That is true. I have heard that as well. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys more team like IP and then the name of the land, or are you more, do you like more of the originality like Galaxy's Edge or Arendelle or whatever they decide to call it? I'm okay with it either way, but I mean, like, Galaxy's Edge is just like, I think if they gave us something more interesting in Galaxy's Edge, I would appreciate it. But and then especially on Twitter, yeah, absolutely. And Theme Park Conductor says, I want George to run down Main Street when he sees Josh to ask him why Avatar is not being called a land and ask about his hot honey chicken sandwich. I would definitely do that. I seriously would. I swear, if history repeats itself and Josh is going to be in the parks, amongst the people during D23 day, the day before the event, I swear I will run down Main Street again. But my first question is, like, I mean, we all want to know about Avatar, but my first question is, why in the world did they remove my hot honey chicken sandwich from Hungry Bear? I don't understand it. That was like my favorite thing out of all the quick services. They got rid of my hot honey chicken sandwich. I even brought it up to Humphrey the Bear when we went to Storytellers Cafe, for which that was a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend anyone who has never done Storytellers Cafe definitely check it out because they just added Humphrey the Bear to the dinner portion of that. I do know Peter went sometime after me, Abby, and Conductor went, but it was a phenomenal experience. Definitely check out our content. Here on Hollow Gelato and also on Theme Park Conductors because we definitely have a lot to showcase with that. Let's see. I saw that Eisner thing early in the morning on YouTube, but was rushing out of my house for class. Absolutely. We will get into that in a little bit, Peter. Don't you worry. I'm still learning some things on it myself. But yeah, we'll get into that for sure. Let's see. I said that Disney's going to try to attempt to open 2 things a year starting next year. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping that Tropical Americas and Monsters Inc. is in 2027, and then followed by Piston Peak, and then shortly after Villains. I think that would be a nice group setup, especially because to open 2 things up together in Magic Kingdom, that would be like history in the making, instead of doing like one by one. With all Disney parks, including Shanghai and Tokyo. Okay, that's true too. Yeah, if you want to add in the international parks. Jesse Adventure says, I have never been to Walt Disney World. Jesse, I tell you what, I hope like in one of these times you will be able to experience it because it is definitely life-changing. It really is. I am taking Theme Park Conductor and Tommy Toon for their first time. We actually are down to the final 3 weeks of our trip. It's going to be very exciting. And yeah, I just enjoy it. I love taking newbies who have never experienced it before. I love being that travel guide and tour guide or whatever terminology you want to use for it. I just enjoy it. I took some friends like several years ago to Walt Disney World for their first time, and treated them to the world of Walt Disney World, and yeah, so it was great. I just enjoy it. Let's see. Like I am for both because it would be weird to call a land Andy's backyard with no Toy Story in the name. Yeah, exactly. See, I'm kind of the same way there, Peter. I'm like in the middle of it. I guess it just depends on what the IP is and what the land is. I don't want the name to have the word land in it. I just want the project to be a land. There you go. It's like, yeah, I don't need to have the land in the name. Just let it be a land. Let's just keep it simple. Hey, Jesse, that's one of my main things. Keep it simple, make a dimple. I actually do say that. I've said that for many years. And we got Matthew Murr all the way from the UK. We've got another video on Disney Legends coming soon on Hollow Gelato. Absolutely. That will be released sometime in the coming week. So definitely please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you guys will be notified. But yes, I did a phenomenal video with Matthew where we talk about the upcoming possibility of who's going to be granted the Disney Legends Award. That's going to be hosted during D23. So definitely check that out. And Theme Park Conductor, hashtag hot honey chicken sandwich. That's what we should do. If you guys actually go on social media, just do like tag Disney, hashtag the hot honey chicken sandwich, and tag me in it, because we got to start a new revolution that we got to get this hot honey chicken sandwich back. I'm going to do that specific Storytellers for dinner in May. Yes, definitely check that out, because from what a cast member had told us, that it's so far, it seems like Humphrey is going to be there through the summer, possibly by the end of August. They're not sure if they're going to keep him or bring him back or transition him into somewhere in the parks or what have you. We gave our suggestions that Humphrey would do great in Grizzly Peak at DCA, or actually, Abby suggested just keeping him in the Grand Californian, sort of like how they did with Bing Bong over at Pixar Place. Because I think people would love Humphrey. We got the one and only Tommy Toon World here. Hollow Gelato, can't wait for the trip. Yeah, I was just mentioning it, Tommy. I can't wait to show you guys around. We are down to the weeks, and pretty soon we're going to be down to the days, and then we're going to be down to the hours, and then the minutes, and then the seconds, and then poof, we're in Orlando. Which is actually kind of funny because I was talking to a conductor that it's funny how we're literally going to be in Disneyland the night before, running into the day we leave, get back to our hotel because we're going to stay around in the area, and then get an Uber, go to the airport. So literally for conductor and for myself, but essentially he would be at the Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort basically in the same day because of how it runs into midnight. But yeah, I can't wait for that. So you did the brunch one on Saturday. That's cool. Hey, anytime at Storytellers Cafe is great. Only newbies I took was my aunt to Disneyland Paris and my cousins from Australia for a week to Disneyland Anaheim. That's cool. Let's see. Epic Berserker, welcome in. Do you personally think Avengers expansion won't arrive until late 27 or 28? I definitely think it's going to be 27. I mean, I would hope it's 27. It needs to be 27 because this thing has been announced in 2019, and what is it going to be if it opens in 27? It would be 8 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is taking forever, which I know the events of 2020, didn't help any, but my Lord, I mean, of how fast that they're moving. I would guess 27. I'm kind of hoping that it would be like a late spring, early summer open, but I don't know. You think it would be like into like the holidays? I don't think it would be 28. As I said, I hope not. Let's see. We got everyone in the chat saying hello. Theme park conductor. We are three. I can't speak. We are 3 weeks, bro. Life-changing experience is going to be amazing. Yes, and I tell you what, folks, I'm going to try to capture as much as I possibly can on these two guys when they experience certain moments of the trip. Like, I'm going to try to get the camera on them when we're passing through the arch of Walt Disney World because I want to get their reaction. I definitely want to get their reaction for seeing Cinderella Castle for the first time, Spaceship Earth, the Tree of Life, things like that. So like first moment, like I want to see like how their reaction is. So it's going to be a moment for me because I've told them this time and time again. My gratification for this is for them to have one of the best times that they have ever had, that we're going to walk away from this trip and they're going to be like, this was a life-changing experience. I can't wait to do this again, kind of thing. If I could hear that from both of them, then I succeeded, If they don't, and they don't walk away from that, then I blame Peter. Sorry, Peter, I have to blame somebody. Oh my gosh. And we have Chris West in the house gifting $1.99. Thank you so much, Chris West. Greatly appreciate you. And I have to say, I hung out with Chris on several occasions, and he's phenomenal. I love hanging out with him. He's a great guy. And again, thank you so much for the super. Let's see here. It can't come any sooner, bro. Yeah, I know, because like now we're down to the nitty gritty. It's now it might start to slow up a bit because now it's that anticipation, you know. Let's see, a car version of him at Disney World, Magic Kingdom would be cool. Um, oh, for Humphrey, gotcha. Let's see, it was cool taking my aunt because she is from Paris, but due to just being by herself, it's a bit more harder for her to go. And we had a lot of fun over there. Well, that's good. And good for you, Peter. I'm glad you had a great time. Let's see. And yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris, for the support of me and the channel and everything. You're definitely a great person. And then, oh, okay, I guess you're laughing at my joke, Peter. And then Tommy says, "Blame Peter." Just kidding. I'm not. Okay. See, we will then all blame George for if you guys hate Disneyland Paris and Europe. Of course, yeah. I mean, you got to return the favor, man. Like that's just how it goes. Let's see. After the expansions for Animal Kingdom slash Magic Kingdom, what would be your next park expansion? Ooh, great question. Um, so, well, and then they're doing the Monsters Inc. for Hollywood Studios. But the thing is with that, that's kind of like a catch 22 because even though that they're expanding a little bit in that back parking lot for the suspended roller coaster for Monsters Inc., um, I can't necessarily call that a full expansion. That was more of a replacement. They do have that expansion pad that's behind, well, what used to be the Star Wars launch bay. Now that's going to be the animation building again. Um, so I mean, I guess they can do that, but I actually agree with theme park conductor. I would think it would be Epcot, and then I think it would go back to Hollywood Studios. And I think for Epcot, there's more than enough room for them to do another country or two, because they already worked on the Future World side. They never really touched upon World Showcase since I think since Ratatouille for the France Pavilion. So, yeah, I would say Epcot for World Showcase. Let's see. She was terrified of Crush's coaster and Big Thunder. Oh, your aunt in Paris. I've heard that the Crush coaster is very kind of intense, but fun. I can't wait to experience that. I hope they keep it. Watch the one time that I say that I want to experience something in Paris. Right before I go, they'll close it down and they'll replace it with something else, or it'll be done for refurbishment. Let's see. Epcot just got the new Frozen heads. Yes, that is true. They did update Frozen. It's funny when you say Frozen heads because because it was like a run-on joke when a lot of people thought that Walt Disney preserved his body and like froze his head in like a hyperbolic chamber kind of thing. So I think it's just funny like when you say the new Frozen heads. Let's see. Animal Kingdom. I have already heard deep rumors that it's going to get something soon. Okay. Wow. So um even with Tropical Americas, that's interesting. Hmm. I mean, there is a lot of land over there, so hopefully. Please let it be something Lion King. That would be awesome. And then got gifted with $5 from Matthew Murr, all the way from the UK. Thank you so much, Matthew. Again, greatly appreciate you as well. The one thing that could derail the Sora function on Disney Plus and force tomorrow to amend the deal is a shareholder mutiny if margins fail to increase. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I do know, like with Demaro at the helm, that he's going to lean more towards like with the acquisition of the partnership with Epic Games, and Dana Walden is going to be um, uh, more into like the AI brand and everything. So with both of them working together, yeah, it could either work out really well or they have to be very careful with that. As I said, with AI, it's a slippery Soap. It's yeah, of course, the soap is slippery, but the slope is also slippery. Um, so yeah, it's a great question, Matthew. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, especially in the startup because both Walden and Demaro have to prove themselves as both, the president and CEO. So they can't fumble right away. So, and theme park conductors, thanks, Matthew, for the support of Hollow Gelato. Let's see. No, they really do not do much refurb since it's a very basic ride and nothing really to maintain other than projectors. Okay, well, that's good to know. Let's see. George, did you not notice the emoji I put on the Animal Kingdom statement? Let me go back up. Maybe I think I missed something. Where are we here? Oh, it's a lion. Okay. A lion. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's the Lion King. Do you consider Abu Dhabi under Iger, or will Josh say that his park? Wait, let me see. Do you consider Abu Dhabi under Iger, or will Josh say that his park that will be finished? I think, I think honestly, they're still probably gonna give Iger some recognition with that. And I think Iger really wants it that way. That's why he kind of solidified those photos when he's standing on the open land. He kind of pulled like a Walt Disney because he himself wants to solidify to say, hey, when this is built, I'll be out of the CEO role, but remember, it started with me. So I think knowing Josh, he'd probably take some of the credit as, under the umbrella as CEO, but I still think he would probably give Iger an honorable mention for sure. Now, since we did catch up with some of the chat, oh, and by the way, Peter, that would be great if it really would be the Lion King. I hope so. I'm going to share my screen again. And oh, we got Rudio in the house saying, Matthew Murr, you are a legend, sir. He really is. I mean, he definitely, give him a Disney Legend Award. I mean, that's awesome. And then we got John Make It Rain in the house. Welcome in, John. It's always glad to see you. I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a fantastic day. I hope everyone in the chat is having a great day as well. And the rumor I heard is that they are using the Paris R&D to build animatronics for a Lion King boat ride at Animal Kingdom, but it would be small world style. Hey, I'd be okay with that. I don't necessarily need it to have like a drop per se. They could have like maybe like little dips and stuff, but it could be a classic boat ride. Like they're going to do like with Coco and stuff like that. So I'd be cool with that. And speaking of Coco, yes, I know you guys are probably, with my PA accent, Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to find, where is it? It was here. Where is it? I think I missed it. Hold on a second, folks. I think I made the wrong turn at Albuquerque. I was going up when I should have been going down. When I'm up, down, touch the ground, in the mood for food. Let's see. Yep, here we go. Okay, so this is compliments of the one, the only, the GOAT, Mr. Scott Gustin. Farewell, Ariel Mickey. I can't say I'll miss the extra unnecessary steps along Disneyland Drive. And this also comes from the extra photos. Compliments of Critter Club. Fascinating update at the work site being Pixar behind Pixar Pier. Posts have been erected, likely for a fence. My guess is this will be the new DCA perimeter fence that will allow for construction to begin on the Coco attraction, which when we went to the DCA 25th anniversary, they did say that literally construction has been moving in the backstage areas for Coco. So it It is moving, folks. I'll definitely say that. Let's see. Your accent isn't as noticeable. Uh-oh, am I losing it? Am I losing my PA accent? Uh-oh. Let's see. That Mickey sign was going to go either way because this is more bigger reasons that it will be the way we cross into the Simba lot. Yes, definitely. Yeah, so they were going to get rid of that anyway, but yeah, so I think it's kind of like a twofer. It's a BOGO. It's a buy one get one. They're getting rid of it. For the extra layout to work on Coco, and then you're right. That definitely has to go for the bridge crossroads to move over into the Simba lot. Valley George. that sounds like a a drama show that you would probably like watch on HBO, or something. Like Beverly Hills 90210, kind of like that kind of show. Let's see. I never knew he had an accent. Oh my gosh, he didn't know. So that means it really is gone. You're an LA boy now, Georgie. And then we got Shelly Nicholas. Welcome in. Let's see. I heard. Yeah, I know. It just keeps on. Like I just tend to like block it out and until it gets. I don't know what's wrong with it, but so yeah. So we have that. And now moving along for more construction. Now I think it was further down as I was passing it. Nope, going the wrong way. Got to go the other way. Wait, oh, I got to go back. That's why. Okay. Moving back over to Florida, and I touched upon it a little bit when I mentioned Piston Peak, but I thought this is very interesting and definitely worth mentioning, of course. And let me see where to go, because I have some thoughts on this. Okay, so oh no, that's not it. Here we go. Okay, so this is compliments of blogmickey.com. Could this Disney patent reveal upcoming Cars rally race ride tech or something much bigger? And I'm gonna stop sharing because then I'm gonna bring up the article. Give me 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, here we go. Okay, so could this Disney? Okay, that's the yeah. Could this Disney patent be yada yada yada? Okay, so a recently published patent could offer some insight as to how the upcoming Cars-themed off-road rally race attraction coming to Magic Kingdom could work. The patent was filed in 2024 and published late last month. Let's take a closer look. So the new patent reveals Cars rally race ride tech. I'm going to try to see because I don't want to read this whole thing. Let's go here. In reading through the document, this looks like it could absolutely be utilized for the upcoming Cars rally race attraction, but Disney doesn't stop there. In fact, the patent really goes well beyond the Cars attraction and presents an implementation for all sorts of rides, including water rides. Let's take a closer look. In the patent screenshot below, you can see an arm attached to the ride vehicle on the right and a chassis, I think, that runs along a track on the left. The image shows that the arm can extend and retract in addition to moving up and down based on the terrain that the vehicle crosses. Now, a lot of people could be thinking, just like here on blogmickey.com, that this ride patent could be part of the rally race. But then there's also people in the Disney community, such as Probably at Disney. Definitely check her out on YouTube. She has a great YouTube channel. She covers all things, mainly in the parks, primarily for Walt Disney World, because I do believe she's Orlando based, but definitely check out her channel, Probably at Disney. And she was saying that this patent may be for the smaller C or D ticket attraction for like the young kids, and more so thinking it could be a spinner ride. Now, here's where I respectfully disagree with probably at Disney in that sense. I don't think it's going to be a traditional spinner ride. First off, Magic Kingdom already has what, three spinner rides? They have Dumbo, they have the Astro Orbiter, and the god awful, ugly Magic Carpets of Aladdin in Adventureland. You guys know how I feel about them. But in any case, the difference between them and this is the storyline, even with it just being a spinner, they're all objects that fly. Dumbo flies, rockets fly, magic carpets fly. Cars and vehicles, they don't fly. But again, it could be the motion of um, going over like rocks and what have you. But I don't think that's a classic traditional spinner ride. So what this kind of reminds me of, and how it like is down low and it pops up as it's going around. I don't know if you guys ever experienced these rides. They're like in traditional amusement parks or carnival based fairs and stuff. Over in PA, in our amusement park called Kennywood, there's a ride called the Kangaroo. And what it does is it's a revolving attraction, but what it does is it goes up on a slope and it bounces you up and it just keeps on going around. So it's like for, I mean, anyone can ride it, but it's more geared towards for young kids because they love the sensation of like bouncing up. And I can understand if they were to do something like that for the Cars C or D ticket attraction. Also, another theory of mine, if probably at Disney could probably, no pun intended, be correct, if it really is a traditional spinner ride, what they can do is, because this is set in Piston Peak, it's within the world of Cars, but Piston Peak was more so showcased in the Disney movie Planes, more so in the sequel, Planes, Fire, and Rescue. So if they really did want to showcase planes in the world of Cars and they wanted it to be a flying spinner ride, they could make the vehicles planes. You know, you can kind of get a twofer. You could have cars and planes. But again, we don't know if that is for the C or D ticket attraction or if it's going to be for the e-ticket attraction of the rally race. So I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was very interesting. And I'm curious to see what all you guys think. If you think, you know, do you see it as the C ticket or the E ticket? Let's see, Shelly, Nicholas, I'm new here. Well, welcome in, Shelly. We always love having newcomers in. If you're a fan of, you know, Disney or Universal, the theme parks, entertainment, you know, you'll definitely feel right at home. Let's see. We have Remy D in the house. Welcome in, Remy D. Let's see. Instead of Valley Forge, it's Valley George. There you go. I need a t-shirt of that. Let's see. Peter says, I love Cars. Don't even. Now, Peter, why would you put that on there? You know, how in the world am I supposed to read that? I love Cars. Quatra. You just want to have me try to pronounce this thing, don't you? I love Cars Quattro Ruse Rally. I just butchered that. I apologize to anyone who is French. I can't speak French except croissant. Voilà, non, mes amis. It's a unique spinner ride. Is that the? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about though, Peter. It's like where there's like four cars in one section and it just keeps spinning and rotating. I think is that what you're talking about? They're like red and blue cars, I think. Peter says, I know Kennywood. You got to show Tommy and conductor the Kennywood Easter egg at Boathouse. Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely will do that for sure. But it's so cool, Peter. You actually know of Kennywood. Have you ever been to Kennywood? Let me know. Let's see. There are unique rules for the Cars ride down in Paris. That's interesting. Cars 4-wheel rally ride. Yes, thank you. Okay, now we got the English version. And then Abby says, welcome into Shelly. And then we got Kev on the go. Welcome in, Kev. So, excuse me, so glad to see you. And Epic Berserker says, Hollow Gelato is very accommodating and friendly channel. Good vibes always. Thank you so much, Epic Berserker. Greatly appreciate you. And then I think we're going to go on to I got to go back here, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay. We're going to move on to the Michael Eisner thing, because I thought this was very interesting because of everything that we've been talking about. It costs money, and when it comes for us as the consumer and the shareholders and what have you, it's definitely going to come out of our pocket for Disney to make that money back, and but we all know that, it is very pricey to go to Disney. It is an arm and a leg. I'm not going to lie, and the price just keeps on going higher, and it's going to keep going higher because, again, of everything that we've talked about today, it costs them money. So they have to make money back. And where do they get the money? Well, us. So I'm going to share. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, Peter, put in the rolls of the cars. I'll go back to that. So this is compliments of Showcase of Wishes. Michael Eisner and quoting him, I'm not wild about the fact that it is so expensive to go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World. And this is during an interview with, I believe it's called In Depth with Graham Singinger, I believe, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I'm going to kind of go back.
I'm not wild about the fact that it is so expensive now to go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World. I'm not wild.
Yeah, so like he's not too wild about it. And the fact that a past CEO, is saying that, and especially since it was Michael Eisner, because he used to, walk the parks. He would put on, his Moss ears and a Mickey Mouse t-shirt, his jean shorts, and like walk the parks among the guests. So, to have that realism, and I kind of hope that Josh develops a little bit of that. I do know that he walks the parks, but he still has a little bit more of that Iger side to him, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I hope Josh lets himself be able to be the CEO and not always have someone bugging his ear. And John Make It Rain says it best. Eisner gets a W for that. He definitely gets a W in my book as well. Eisner did the crazy Indiana Jones deal when that opened. Yeah, definitely. Do you guys know that Universal will no longer offer ad-free express passes to any additional hotels? And they will never add Epic to the existing park to the OG hotels. No, I did not know that, Remy D. That's interesting. Ooh, that's not good. Because the whole point that you would want to entice and encourage people to stay on property. See, but this is the thing. You have to look at it through the bigger periscope, so to speak, that, it's not just Disney, Universal's doing it too. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I don't agree with Universal doing that just as much as I don't agree with Disney cutting the perks. If you're going to raise prices, that is fine. I have no problem with them raising prices because that then allows them to create and get motivated to build and expand and grow. But you also have to think of the consumer and the shareholders that are making all this happen. Our money that's going into all this stuff, give us something a little bit back. And I'm not just talking about a magic key magnet, or, give us something that actually is beneficial, So I'm going to come back a little bit here to Giant Peter. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I am going to have a conversation with Theme Park Conductor in the coming week. We'll get into a more deeper conversation because there'll be two of us kind of going back and forth. So definitely that will be, I believe that'll be on his channel. So definitely um, check out Theme Park Conductor when we do that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to just showcase it a little bit of that's very interesting that Eisner has said that. And I hope Josh was watching. I hope he's taking some mental notes on that because again, if he wants to get the public and the fans into his good graces, he would maybe listen to that a little bit. Or as Conductor calls us, not really fans, investors, because essentially that's what we are. We are investors. Um, but yeah, Remy, I did not know that about the hotels and stuff. That's very interesting. So Peter says the rules for the Cars ride in Paris: only 2 adults and 2 kids can maximum sit in each vehicle. The vehicle won't be able to move depending on the number of adults and weight of the vehicle. Oh, okay, so it's a weight kind of stricken thing. Seating arrangements are basically adult must sit on the opposite corner of the vehicle, or what I did, which was sitting in the back row by myself, while my little brother and sister were in the front. That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I did. So it makes me wonder if they're gonna do something like that with that C or D ticket for Piston Peak. Very curious. But yeah, there's just like a lot going on right now. And I thought, like, if I went live, like, what would I talk about? And I thought, well, there's just like a lot going on right now with the construction, with Monsters Inc. and with Coco, and even even with like the Cars Land area and Villains. So I thought it's a construction kind of update, So I thought, yeah, we'll bring it up. Why not? And again, it's always great. It's always great talking with you guys. And yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've done like some lives, but I wanted to, jump on and have a little chat with you guys. Now, speaking of construction, and this was sort of kind of like a refurb construction, and I think it was Epic Berserker who brought it up. So I thought, you know what, I'll just showcase it a little bit. Coming from Scott Gustin, Disney released a first look at the upgraded Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff audio animatronics installed at Frozen Ever After at Epcot. The refreshed figures officially debut tomorrow. Now that was, I don't even know what today is. What is today, folks? Is today the 12th? So I think it actually premiered today. Yeah, it is the 12th. So yeah, they premiered today. So why not? Yeah, we'll showcase it. So here's some still images of oh, sorry, hold on one sec. There we go. Of what they look like. There's Elsa, as she's singing Let It Go before we get exited out backwards out of the North Mountain. And there's Elsa again. And then there's Anna and Kristoff. They look so much better than the faces that they had prior. It was just like the faces didn't match the skin tone to the rest of the body. It was just it wasn't cohesive. So yeah, so they premiered today. I'm very actually, while I have everyone on, I'm very curious if what the wait time for it is. Because it's not just the fact that the ride is back up, but it's the fact that it's back up with a new designed feature. So it's almost 8:30. The parks are still open, so I'm very curious to see what the wait times is. Let's see. Frozen. Oh, not too bad. It's at a 55-minute wait. Not too bad. I've seen it worse, so. Let's see. Cars Road Trip, we do not mention other than the croquet McQueen sandwich. Wait, not croquet. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce it. McQueen sandwich and the break from the park you get on that ride, and car catastrophe cannon. Yeah, I think honestly I've watched videos of that, and oh my gosh, that is like so cringy of that ride that they literally just took like the backlot studio and Catastrophe Cannon and just like put cars around it. Like for me, the excitement of going on Frozen in Paris is not too exciting since it's the same ride, but I will still cover it and do a POV of that version. Yeah, I kind of wish that Paris was well. Uh, I guess it really they can't because I guess the Frozen one is in Tokyo, so they can't make a replica of that maybe just yet. But yeah, but they can do a replica of Frozen Ever After. So I think it for me it wouldn't just be about the ride; it would be like the immersiveness of going into Arendelle. That would be really cool. And Kev says, "Oh my God, Cars road trip is the worst." I can't believe I could just hear Kev saying that, like his voice of just saying like it is the worst. It's like that scene in Sister Act where they're all sitting, Sister Act 2, when the chef only brings out German food and they're saying not worst, bratwurst. And Kathy Najimy leans over to Whoopi Goldberg and says, it's the worst. Yes, folks, I quote movies all the time. See, Peter says it's the same reason why I hope they don't do a clone of Frozen Ever After for Disneyland. No, they can't do that. Honestly, they need something fresh and new. If they're gonna put, especially if Bricky's theory is true, and uh, and Frozen goes into the Lilo and Stitch parking lot because he said it fits like a glove, which in his video it does seem like it does fit. That yeah, they can't do Frozen Ever After. We already got that at Walt Disney World. It's in Paris. Give us something new. And again, they can't do Tokyo, but yeah, don't do Frozen Ever After. Give us something. Maybe do something like with Frozen 2 or maybe the upcoming Frozen 3 and 4. You know, they could always do that. See, the Eiffel Tower scene in the Cars road trip is neat, but not mind blowing. I do wish they made merch based off of that. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. um oh, and Hong Kong has wait, Hong Kong has Frozen Ever After? So that's 3? Oh man. And then if they make it for Disneyland, that's 4. Of course, Tokyo would always have the better one. Because they have no expense than to pay for like the top notch quality. I can't wait to see what Japan's Disney cruise ship is going to be like. If it and because they're forking out the money, like OLC doesn't care. So if we see what they put out for the theme parks, I can imagine what the cruise ship is going to be like. Because I have a funny feeling after that cruise ship, I think there's already talks that they possibly could want a second one afterwards. So that might be 14 ships. And then after Abu Dhabi, they might be saying, hey, we want to get into the cruise industry. So that might be number 15. So that would be cool. But yeah, so I wanted to, come on and talk with you guys for a little bit. As I said, it was a lot more of like for like updates of the parks and construction and everything. And also too, because Peter had mentioned with like the Lion King, construction is, moving along nicely for Adventure World, because that's what we have to kind of start calling it now, because um, it's not the Walt Disney Studios park anymore. Now, I am 2 days late, but I have to just do this since we're on a live. Big shout out and a happy birthday to current CEO Bob Iger and future CEO Josh D'Amaro on February 10th. It was their birthdays. They actually shared the same birthday, but kind of not to put their age on blast, but 20 years apart. So yeah, that was compliments of Toon Hive. So I just wanted to showcase that. As I said, so happy belated birthday to Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro. But yeah, so as I was saying, as Peter was mentioning about the Lion King and Adventure World, they are moving along nicely with that. I'm for sure Peter probably knows a little bit more of that than I do, but I'm assuming probably in the next couple years that'll be up. And then, of course, Peter kind of hinted that, not fully confirmed by Disney, but apparently they may be working something with the Lion King at Animal Kingdom. right after maybe Tropical Americas. So that would be great. That would be a great surprise if they just announced like an individual attraction at D23. Um, for which Michael Vargo, when we were at DCA's 25th anniversary, he came on before the event started and said, I know all of you are concerned and asking questions about when the D23 tickets go on sale. And he said they go up online in an hour. And oh my gosh, the whole room like gasped for like 3 seconds before it hit them that he was being sarcastic. And he was just laughing his head off. And he said, no, news should be coming out fairly soon. And it looks like that tickets will be going on sale sometime in early April. So that is after the fact of our March trip. So thank God for that. um, so that gives me a little more time. Let's see. Oh, we got some more. Give me 1 second here, folks. What is wrong with this thing? There we go. Okay. Let me see. That Croquet McQueen is best sandwich at Disneyland Paris. It's basically their hot honey chicken sandwich level of hype. Oh, then I would definitely enjoy it. I hope Abu Dhabi does not steal my Frozen themed Expedition Everest ride idea. Well, and that's another thing too. Abu Dhabi is just like Tokyo. Like they're going to pay no expense for it. Like they're forking out the money. They're signing these blank checks for Disney and their R&D to basically build whatever they want, however they want. So that's going to be interesting. Especially because you can kind of see the frozen mountain in the vague concept art. And Rudio says KTLA confirmed with Disney officials that the Toy Story lot will still be operating regardless of the ATN announcement. Yes, that is true. They did confirm that. I'm just very curious to know because it's going to be depending on like how many people are with you, if you have kids, if you have, older people, that's going to be like a 20-25 minute walk, maybe even longer. As I said, depending on how many people are with you, if you have some stragglers, and then of course you're on the main road, you wait for the crosswalk and everything. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, it is going to be fully operational as far as like the Toy Story lot being utilized, but I'm just very curious to see how many people actually utilize it. And then again, for people who are staying in the Anaheim area, but it's not walkable, they're going to, they use the bus system. So since that's going to stop, they're then going to use the Uber and Lyft. That's going to get more backed up than what it already is. And then the prices are probably going to go up because the demand's going to go up. I think it's just going to be a mess before it gets better. That's what I'm thinking. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. But again, I thought it was very interesting too, because as I said, last year for my birthday, Abby and I were told by an employee, because they work in the Anaheim area, that next year that the bus line is going to stop, it's going to end. But what was funny was he said because of a new theme park and hotel that's going over in the Toy Story lot. Now, again, I'm still taking that with a grain of salt, but the fact that he knew what was going to happen a year before it did, and he knew the purpose of it, we'll have to wait and see. What do you think about the interview they did with David Muir? Great question, Remy D. My thing is, I wish that I'm going to try to say this with the utmost respect. I wish that they would have given Damaro his time in the spotlight, that he is going to be the new CEO. I feel like having Iger there, like kind of like where it's almost like Damaro at times like kept on looking over his shoulder at Iger, like saying like, did I say that right? Should I have said this? Like almost like trying to get his approval. And it's like, that's not a good start to make yourself look as the upcoming CEO. And I hope Iger allows Damaro to do the job. I'm not saying I'm not saying to not give him advice and guide him. He needs guidance because once Iger leaves, he has to know what he's doing, but you can't be the hovering shadow. I wish that I'm not even saying to not have Iger part of that. Talk to Damaro individually, talk to Iger individually, have them showcase, what their thought process is of Iger leaving and Demaro coming in, and then at the very end of the interview, bring them both in together. That's how I would have orchestrated that interview. Now, again, I don't know if that was kind of like Iger's decision to do that, or if that was the network that decided to do it like that. So, but that's how I would have orchestrated it. Let's see. I will be buying every damn piece of merch at Disney Adventure World, especially the new book they are dropping. So, Peter, refresh my memory. Roughly when it's going to be March of this year, correct? Is it March 6th or something that it'll be kind of opened, minus the Lion King, of course. But will that little boardwalk area, like with the up inspired swings, will that all be open too on March 6th? Let's see. Theme park conductor says hi to Remy D. Personally, for me, Josh kept looking at Iger for permission to speak, and it was weird. I wish Josh was alone for it and would have been Josh and Dana. That's a very good point. That is a very good observation, because I actually didn't think of that, conductor, because like you said basically what I think, that it should have just been Josh. But yeah, why not have Dana alongside Josh? Let them talk to the two people that are now not even getting promoted, but history in the making, that they're bringing back the president title along with a new CEO. Like, that's because if you're then picking them for the roles, they should already be capable of knowing how to handle something of this nature. So that's a very good observation, conductor. I did not think of that. There is enough room behind Lion King Land to do an Animal Kingdom hotel style Lion King hotel connected to the park. Ooh, that's cool. And even a Frozen mini expansion. Oh, nice. That park needed it big time. He's not the official CEO until March 18th. Yes, that is true, John. Make it rain. He will officially become CEO on March 18th, but Iger is not leaving until the very last day of 2026. So, as I said, hopefully Iger allows Demaro to breathe a little bit as CEO. He'll have his time. Yeah, I'm hoping he definitely has his time, and conductor also says as well. Giant Peter Venture says March 29th through the 30th time period, and so did Kev on the go. I was completely off. What did I say? March 6th? Wow, geez, I'm like 23 days off there. Let's see. Still wish we got Zootopia for DCA. I'm right there with you, Epic Berserker. If we're gonna go down this route, they did confirm, as I said, and I mentioned this earlier on in the live, that Avatar is going back into the backlot area for Hollywood Land. They did confirm that, but they did not confirm a closing date for Mike and Sully. I still think Zootopia would have been a proper fit for that area. I'm not saying Avatar isn't. I think Avatar will be a great addition, but I still think Avatar would have done really well in the Simba lot. Or if they wanted it to go over in Disneyland, put that in the Lilo and Stitch parking lot. I mean, and it's separated from Disneyland, so it's kind of like out of worldly. You're moving out of that into Pandora. Like, I would have been okay with that too, but in the backlot area, see, that's where, because when they say experience or destination, I feel like we're only going to get a piece of Pandora and not a full immersive land. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but that's the vibe they're giving me. And Kingdom Hearts Land. Oh, I wanted a Kingdom Hearts Land in a Disney park way back in 2002 when I first played that game. It is still my all-time favorite game. I love Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance. I'm still waiting on Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm like anticipating it. I probably would then buy a console again, because I gave my console to my son, but I probably would buy a whole new console just to play Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'm not even a gamer anymore. I used to be growing up, but that was like the classic games. Like I love Super Nintendo. I love Nintendo 64, the original PlayStation, Sega, Sega Dreamcast, GameCube. I played all those. Peter says the Up won't be open by March, but I think it will be more towards the summer. They are very much underway with that construction and shouldn't take too long for um, that ride. Like how the easily to take it. Okay. Let's see. Down here at the DCA for refurbs. George knows my only issue for Zootopia and Hollywoodland, especially with Disney. Yeah, of course. Avatar at Disneyland makes Disneyland too much of a god mode of a park. DCA would never recover from that. Yeah, because I did mention that. I did mention for Zootopia to also go possibly over into the Lilo and Stitch parking lot because again, out of worldly, you kind of go into the animal world, you can travel over there. But I agree with you, Peter, like in that sense, even though that I would take Zootopia, um, you know, I think that would make a monopoly for Disneyland because it is still honestly very hard for DCA to get out of Disneyland shadow. And a lot of people have to understand, yes, DCA needed help. It still needs help. It's on its way, but you can't treat DCA like Disneyland because it's not. That's just like treating Epcot like Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. They're all individual identified parks, that they have their own identity, so I kind of wish that like people would get out of that mentality of trying to compare DCA to Disneyland. But yeah, but even for the DCA 25th anniversary, I enjoyed the D23 event. But again, if you are not a D23 member or you didn't get tickets, you're not celebrating that part of a celebration. And at DCA, there was no special cavalcade. Obviously, Lunar New Year's going on. Still the 70th anniversary with World of Color Happiness. Although Steve Davison at the D23 event said that there may be a specialty World of Color or Luminary, something that's supposed to be coming back in a different way. Hopefully, we get some news on that at D23 this upcoming summer. We'll have to wait and see. And but yeah, like there was no cavalcade. There was no. They had like the birthday cake milkshake at Schmoozies, but it was just like a birthday cake milkshake, that they could have done for the 70th. And of course, they had the merch and the popcorn bucket, but and then they had Humphrey the Bear for storytellers because Disney California Adventure, along with the Grand Californian Hotel and Downtown Disney, all celebrated their 25th anniversary this year. But yeah, there was nothing really big. I wish they would have did something extra. And also, speaking of Steve Davison, that he mentioned was that he really hopes that they keep the Hyperion Theater. Like he was like almost like begging Disney to leave it because he said it was a very hard challenge to get that theater like operation, like when they first started the park. And there was an Imagineer, her name is Emo, and she worked on the Hyperion as well with the interior design as an intern with WDI. And she is currently working on Avatar. And like he kind of looked at her and said, please, could we, keep the theater? And she respectfully feels the same way. Now, again, I don't know how much say so she has, but if it was up to her or Steve Davison, that they would keep the Hyperion Theater, which I thought was very interesting. And especially since she's working on Avatar. So if she keeps the Hyperion, or again, I don't know if they just kind of swept it under the rug just so that fans would say that, they're on our side, but they kind of already know that the Hyperion is going. And of course, they're never going to make an announcement like that there, celebrating the 25th anniversary of DCA. They didn't even make the announcement that the Rivers of America was going at the big D23 event until that following Monday. So we'll just have to wait and see. John, Make It Rain. I always thought that Avatar should have gone where Avengers Campus was. They could have connected the water from the lake with it. That's interesting. And that's the thing like with Avengers Campus. Like I hope that when they expand out the Marvel universe that it's not just going to be that section because I mean, to me, especially celebrating DCA's 25th anniversary, I love the Bugs Land. It was so simple. It was for young kids, but you know what? I loved that land. I'm still so kind of bitter at the fact that they got rid of it and we got Avengers Hallway. Compliments to Bricky. I do know it has its expansion, and I'm very curious to see what the rides are going to be like. But just like with Galaxy's Edge, I don't know what it is, but Avengers Campus is just like not my full cup of tea. Like I utilize it for a walking path, um, just like I do Galaxy's Edge, but I like don't find myself like in that land for very long unless we go to like Pim's Test Kitchen or again when I do my coverage on the construction or even when the expansion opens. You know, I do want to experience Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab, but other than that, I mean, and I do take you know, a stop when Spider-Man does hit like the Stuntronic where he's flying in the air, but other than that, that's pretty much it. So see, I want a Kingdom Hearts Land movie and game number 4. I'm right there with you, Peter. And Florentin says Hollywood Land should have been Monsters Inc. Land instead of moving monsters from DCA to studios. Muppet 3D left DCA to be evicted at the studios. I know. Isn't that funny? It's like it just came like full circle with that. But that's very true too. I mean, they could have just utilized that area for monsters as well. I think that would have even been a better fit than Pandora, to be honest with you. That color scheme of Guardians could have been painted a different color on the back of it to match the human-made structures found on Pandora. So yeah, see, that's another thing too, because you're going to then see the mixture of the strip of Hollywood Land going into Pandora, and then across you're going to see Mission Breakout going into Avengers Campus. I'm trying to figure out how this is going to look. I'm trying to figure that out. Let's see. Rudio says, FYI, George, shuttle services will continue past March 31st when ATN shuts down. I'm assuming Disney will hire in-house transportation services for cast members. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, because that's gonna be very interesting after March 31st. Let's see. I also want an epic Mickey movie and Mean Street. That's it. Okay. I think honestly, just a collabo of Mickey and Oswald would be awesome. I know we're getting that Oswald show, but I don't know like how many episodes we're going to get, but I wish we would get like a full-fledged like animated series of Oswald and how it would be going back to the traditional sense of Oswald that let him be like that charismatic, sarcastic kind of personality. And honestly, even make it black and white, like make it go full tradition, you know? Or they could have just hit it with a bunch of trees. Oh, they might do that too. Let's see. I still kind of think DCA has more potential than Disney because of all the space it has. Well, yeah, now DCA has the upper hand. That's very true, John. Like with when the Eastern Gateway is completed and they have the Simba parking lot, eventually, yeah, DCA can have a little bit of an upper hand depending on what they utilize it with, because even though, and they even mentioned this at the D23 25th anniversary of how oddly shaped that the park is because of how the Disneyland parking lot was. And they said they actually had to utilize that shape of depending on what they put there. So they even said the reason why they made like a seaside pier is not just because it's a theme of California, but because of the structure of how a pier is. That's how it fit in the structure of the outline of the park. And I thought that was very interesting. I wish they did something special in Downtown Disney and in the Grand outside of that one pin I bought. Yeah, I saw the Chippendale pin at the Grand Cali, and I was like, it was like what, almost $35, and I'm like, or something or other, and I'm like, oh, I like it, but I don't love it. But I also know that there was a specialty Downtown Disney one, which I didn't even get to see. I think they sold out of it like before I even got there. But And then, as I said, and then with Humphrey the Bear going into the Grand Cali till the summertime. And then also, too, the 70th anniversary ends August 9th, uh, right before D23. So we might even hear of a new promotional cross market thing that Disneyland's going to do, since the 70th will officially be over. And we have Alan. Welcome in, Alan. So glad to see you. Welcome in. And level the fluidity service area. Make a path that goes all the way behind the coaster, and it could easily be more exciting than Disneyland in my mind. Oh, quick service. Okay, level the quick service area. Let's see. As I said, the only Downtown Disney merch for the 25th sold out completely one day, on day one of dropping. Yeah, as I said, the Downtown Disney stuff I didn't even get to see. They'll paint it green. Yep, Avengers Hallway. Yep, that's compliments of Bricky. He calls it Avengers Hallway. Like, I do wonder if Emo somehow works the theater into the Avatar land, maybe as a show to the level of Untrainable at Epic. That would be epic. That would be great. If they were to do a show that's based off of Avatar, and yeah, they do something like where the avatars are flying on the Ekrons, as you had mentioned, like with the Untrainable Dragon show, that would be cool. And then to John Make It Rain's point, you can kind of give, maybe not even Mission Breakout, but maybe you can give the theater a whole new paint job, and have it kind of like a moss, kind of like hunter green, kind of mixed in with the trees kind of thing. I did like Bugs Land, but I go crazy for Avengers. Hey, nothing wrong with that. My biggest issue is that towards the closing of the Bugs Land back then, I was roughly around conductor's height and could not fit into those rides, which did not make it fun. So if you're a certain height, like Peter and Conductor, as if you guys seen my recent video with Conductor, the one water fountain over by Hollywoodland was broken. So the smaller one, so he literally had to like go on his knees to get a drink of water because the fountain was so low and he's so tall. But yeah, like those rides, like that would probably be a nightmare. There's even like some even just regular rides that like you can barely get in. Like I've seen Conductor, like we rode Space Mountain, and there's times like where he's like trying to like maneuver himself to get in. So it's like, I really wish that they would fix a lot of these vehicles for, like taller people, like where it's accommodating for everybody. I think for me, when it comes to a Bugs Land, I think it was how it was done. It was like abrupt, because essentially Avengers was supposed to go where Hollywoodland is, like in the backlot area. They're supposed to have like the Avengers Captain America coaster, or Winter Soldier coaster that was supposed to be like Tron. And, that didn't happen because the Eastern Gateway got canceled. And so they under the guidelines of Chapek, he wanted Avengers in there yesterday. So the only thing that could have been up on the chopping block was a Bugs Land, and which was a shame because a Bugs Land wasn't really supposed to go. It only went because the original Plan A didn't work out, so they went to Plan B for the bugs. So yeah, so it just didn't work out for them. And I know eventually a Bugs Land probably would have went anyway, but I think it was just because that it wasn't supposed to, and because of the unforeseen circumstances, that's the whole reason why it went. If it was actually where it was planned to go, then I can understand it. You technically can't see most of the outside of Pandora and Animal Kingdom, though. They could technically use techniques to hide mission breakout using elevated structures. That is true, depending on what they have planned for it. So we'll definitely see. Experiencing the Ratatouille restaurant in Paris did make me kind of mad that Bugs Land never had a restaurant. That is very true, which is something that Avengers does excel in. Yeah, if they did a restaurant in a Bugs Land, I would have like utilized a drink. If you guys remember, if you've seen the movie A Bug's Life, one of my favorite underrated Pixar movies ever. When Flick goes into the bar to try to find bugs for, warrior bugs and everything, and there's a mosquito that's already drunk at the bar, and he goes, "Hey, bartender, Bloody Mary, O positive." Like that could have actually been a name of an alcoholic drink that they had in a Bug's Land. Um, Oh my god, that thing would have like probably flew off like hotcakes. Although I don't know if people would buy a drink called Bloody Mary O positive, but I think it would have been funny. It was a play on the movie, so I thought it would have been cool. Let's see. We got Mark McHugh in the house. Welcome in, Mark. That bus loop is where we saw a guy with parrots. That's interesting. With parrots. Okay. An epic berserker. You know what would be cool idea for a third gate? Let's see. You know what would be a cool idea for a third gate night show that would incorporate glow and fire? Oh yeah. Avatar and Ice would be a great show. Avatar fire, like let's see, Avatar fire and ice. Wait, no, ice. I said ash and ice to get. Oh my god. Avatar, fire, and ash on ice. Try saying that 3 times fast. Like I was even jumbling it. Let's see. When we rode Gadgets Go Coaster, I was too big and we had to wait for the next train so I could take a row to myself. Yeah, see, that's like, and I know Gadgets Go Coaster is made for like the little kids and everything, but if you're not gonna base it just for little kids and adults can ride it too, they have to accommodate that. Because just to say, what if you had a young child with you? You can't let the child go by themselves, depending on like how old they are. So, and then what? Then the child suffers because you're too tall. I mean, yes, folks, I am sticking up for the kids this time. So there you go. There's your one for the year. And we also got Lene Ward in the house. Welcome in. Let's see. We saw birds and he threw them at us and took pictures with them. I felt like the bird lady from Home Alone and bird lady from Feed the Birds, Mary Poppins. Oh, Abby would have freaked. She is not a bird person. She does not like birds. We were at Animal Kingdom and they were doing the wonders of flight kind of thing with the parrots where they release the macaws. And for some reason, I thought they made like it known of the times, like on the guide maps, which they didn't, or on the app. And we were passing there, and I did not know that they were doing it. And then all of a sudden, as soon as we were passing the Tree of Life, like 3 dozen macaws just fly out into the audience. And oh my god, I thought Abby was going to drop to the ground. And she was like, "You didn't tell me they were doing it." I was like, "I know that they do the show, but I didn't know that they were going to do it right this second." So she was like sitting on the wall trying to catch her breath because, yeah, she has like a phobia of birds. And all of a sudden, here comes Kevin from Up, and he's walking up the hill. She turns around and she's like, "Oh no, keep that." And I quote, and forgive me, folks, for swearing. So I'm quoting Abby. She's like, "Keep that fucking bird down there. I don't want to see him." And then I said, "Babe, it's a she." And she's like, "I don't care. He, she, I don't care." Oh my gosh. I almost lost my shoe exiting Crush's coaster with the size of my foot. That's okay. So wait, so like you getting out of the vehicle, you almost lost your shoe. That's interesting. Just out of curiosity, Peter, if you don't mind me asking, what size shoe do you wear? Lene said we had Toontown all to ourselves that night. Oh, nice. Jesse Adventure says Space Mountain is not fun when you're 6'5". So Jesse, you're 6'5". Wow. So we have a lot of tall people here. And I think Jesse, remind me, you might have mentioned that before, but if memory serves me, but I don't remember. Wow, 6'5". We got a basketball team here. Let's see. Disney is pretty good at making fat friendly rides, but Gadgets was the only time that having a dump truck was embarrassing. And Mark McHugh says, it's true. She's racist to birds. Jesse Adventure says, I wear a size 15 shoe. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that would make sense if you're 6'5". I mean, I don't expect a 6'5" person to have a size 7 shoe size. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Let's see. Lene says, I am also not a bird person, like terrified. I was tipsy from Oga's Cantina. I literally wear hats and hoodies year round because I'm so terrified of birds. The liquid courage to help. You know, it's funny that you say that you wear hats and hoodies because that was one of the things. A bird actually landed on Abby's hat and she had a hood on. And I guess the bird thought that she was a rock because the bird actually like physically landed on her head and it was like sitting there. I think they just sense the fear. They know, like they taste it, and it's like they do it on purpose. Like they'll just come to you more. Let's see. Keep Peter away from Abby. Then Giant P is Kevin's doppelganger. That's great. I don't trust them, and they make me cry. I'm not racist. Let's see. OMG, my comment out of context sounds so bad. It's all good, Lene. We get it. Hats and birds, OMG, new fear unlocked. Yeah, just just be careful with a hood because, as I said, the bird actually landed on Abby's head, and she assumed because it thought it was a rock. Because I think she had her head down like on the table. I physically wasn't there, so this was like before we met. But yeah, she had her hood on and she had her head down on the table. So I guess the bird kind of like perched on top of her head, thinking she was a rock. So yeah. So John Make It Rain has a question. Can you touch any of the overhanging steel on Space Mountain with you being 6'5"? That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder how. I should even ask conductor that too, because like being so tall, like how tall, like do they make like the bars tall enough for someone that tall that it like their head won't touch it or their arms? Because what if a person has like their hands up? You know, so if you're 6'5" and you're already tall, and then you're going to raise your hands on top of that, that's interesting. I wonder how that works. That's very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, Jesse, yeah, if you're still in the chat, oh, wait, George is 6'5". No, Mark, I'm not 6'5". Jesse Adventure is 6'5". I am the complete opposite. I am an Italian. A lot of Italians are average to, you know, we're not that tall. I'm only 5'7". So a 5'7" guy standing next to a 6'5" guy, you know, I'm probably coming down to your navel. See, I can't fit in almost every other ride vehicle. It's just a bit tight, except for small rides like a Bugs Land rides or even Goofy Sky School. Well, here's the thing: even being 5'7", like myself, Goofy Sky School vehicles are so uncomfortable. They have the seats so compacted, and as I said, then they have that little thing that comes up at the center of the seat, and I'm like, you do realize what men have down there, right? And I've used this term my whole time. It's like when we get off of it, we have a division sign. Like it's like you got to be careful with that stuff. Of course, yeah. Tone says terrible ride. Yeah, yeah. Tones and Candid. That was an experience. That was a very experience. Yep, a division sign. Lene says it's because Abby and I are Disney princesses. The birds love us. I have had many birds land on me, but it was unconsensual. Don't even get me started on the geese. They honk and charge at me. Yeah, geese are mean little son of a guns. Like they don't play. Um plus and speaking of a Disney princess, I always say that Abby is a Disney princess, but she likes she's like I'm not like that proper of a Disney princess. She's like I'm Stitch. Like and if she gets hangry, she becomes 626, you know. But I could see like how you know you guys are Disney princesses where it's like you do the ah. I can't do it anymore. Ever since I went through like puberty, I can't do like that high pitch opera hum. Let's see. Did you guys hear that Universal may start doing individual express passes for individual rides like Disney? So if you want to skip the lines on Ministry or Donkey Kong, you may have to pay extra. I did hear that, Remy D. That's very interesting because I think with the popularity of those rides and how high demand they are, you know, Universal is going to want to capitalize on that. So it's like, you know, when you look at Rise of the Resistance or Radiator Springs Racers, and it's like, yeah, like, you know, for Donkey Kong and Ministry, they could say, yeah, you know, you could buy Express, but it's like if you want to ride Ministry or Donkey Kong, it's going to cost you an extra 25 bucks, you know. I could see Universal taking like a little bit more of a Disney route um in that sense. You know, I think yeah, you know, I think that there's kind of starting to follow in that pattern, but because Universal is now starting to become big, maybe not as big as Disney, maybe not as popular as Disney, but they're growing, you know, they're getting bigger, they're adding more stuff, so they're going to utilize that stuff. But the day Universal adds reservations to the parks, that's going to be a dark day in the theme park industry. I don't know if Universal would ever go that far, but that would be, whew, we're still waiting for Disney to remove the reservation system. Can you imagine Universal adding it? Then Disney's never going to get rid of it. Mark has never had a bird land on him randomly. Is that normal? I've had many birds land on me. Again, Lene, I think because with you and Abby, I think it's the fear. I think because they know your fear of them. It's like they like to torture you. They have like a mind of their own. Just like they say in Finding Nemo. Now this is more for seagulls, but seagulls are the worst. I mean, they literally are rats with wings. Like they will eat anything. They'll eat it right out of your hand. They will like hover over you. And especially like on the islands of like Castaway Key or Lookout Key, if you leave your food unattended, you're going to have like 24 seagulls at that food. And they have like the locals and the cast members like shoo them away. But like, yeah, if you're on a Disney cruise and you're at Castaway Key or Lookout Key, don't leave your food unattended. Just don't. But yeah, I've never had birds land on me. I've had them shit on me, but which I guess that really says how they feel about me. So it's like you're not even worthy of us landing on you, but here you go. Technically I get a back row to my DR. Like from your from to my DR. Is that a what's DR? Technically, I get a back row to myself on Cars Paris Spinner for that reason of being tall. Getting out of the vehicle, my shoe slipped off, and shoe size is 13. Okay, 13. I'm going to cut out that clip of George trying to sing like a Disney princess and make it my alarm in the morning. There you go. Just that could be your alarm. So instead of it sounding like a Disney princess, Mark, it's basically me sounding like Scuttle from The Little Mermaid when they're trying to do the kiss the girl scene where they're trying to make the mood. And he's like, wah, 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 wah. There you go. You can cut that one too. That's the same size as Mark's feet, giant panda twins. Giant panda twins. That's funny. Mark, our alarm in the morning will be George singing as a Disney princess. Most constraint ride that I've ever been on is RC Racer. That's interesting. They have a seatbelt going across the waist like cars in DCA, and then an Incredicoaster style thing that comes down on you with a seatbelt in. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's strap over the waist and then pull down like Incredicoaster and then seatbelt up. Oh, my. Is RC Racer that intense? I mean, I know of it, but I've never been on it, obviously, but I am curious about it. Uh, that which buckles nearby the private. See, yeah, see, I can't take that. Like that just like makes my toes curl. Like when anything is like down there and it's like compressed, and then you're gonna have a force of like like a ride put like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have it going like two different directions. Lene says, seagulls, they don't even live by the sea in landlocked places. I've only seen them in parking lots. Pigeons in Europe will have Abby go crazy. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. She doesn't like birds in general, but like the bigger the bird, we were sitting in San Francisco over at DCA, and I swear these ducks or mallards or like they were like trying so hard to get food off of people, and they were like flying in and out, and I swear you can feel the gust of wind like when they're flapping hard, and like Abby's like, oh my god, can we get out of here please? See, sometimes I go through walks through the aviary at the Calgary Zoo, and even there I've never been blessed. Oh man, yeah, getting Abby into the aviary, no, she would never. I could probably get Abby on a thrill roller coaster um before but before going into an aviary. I've had birds poop on me too. It happens at least once a year. I feel like I'm being bullied. I hear you, man. Especially in London. Those pigeons love it over there. Hopefully, not many at Universal UK. Let's see. That's why I always walk fast, Mark, in the aviary to avoid foul encounter. I like that. If you were to be an advisor for Josh D'Amaro and he says, well, can I have a few recommendations for a new park being built by Josh and Disney directly, unlike Abu Dhabi? Where would you place it to be? So like a new park, like starting like a whole new destination area. If I was to put it somewhere, I would, if I was to do another US park, I would do it in Texas because Texas is a huge state. You know, everything's bigger in Texas. And the Universal's already going to have the kids park over there. And you can kind of have the best of both worlds because Texas is close to California. So you can kind of have like those, you know, it would drive people into going into Texas for that purpose. So I think that would be kind of cool to have a Disney park in Texas. Let's see. Racer seems like such a bad idea for a Disney ride. It's a roller coaster that is just shaped like a giant U, has one car, so has very low per hour capacity. What were they thinking? That is true. As far as like with the capacity and everything. RC Racer is probably the most danger that you can have on a Disney ride if one thing doesn't buckle, since you are very high up on a Hot Wheels track. I'm bracing myself for Paris birds. I've been preparing myself. There's a pigeon that has moved into the backyard, so I've been trying to do exposure therapy. Oh, poor Lene. Abby, I'm for sure if Abby was here, she would feel your pain, definitely. Let's see. Disney needs to get that Hagrid's coaster system and design it like Everest. That would be cool. I love Hagrid's. Hagrid's is like one of my favorite rides at Universal. When is the Walt Disney trip? So I assume for Walt Disney World, it's actually coming up in a couple weeks. You know, it'll be in March. So we'll be boots on the ground. Me, Abby, conductor, and Tommy for just a little under 2 weeks. We will be doing Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. So let's see. We have Billy Rides CA. Welcome in. So glad to see you. I think Pixar Hotel will be demoed or moved when they build in the Simba area. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, Billy, because I've said this too, and I know a lot of people say, they just renovated it and they base it off of the pier and everything, but I think if they were to add a new hotel over by the Toy Story lot, because essentially I truly believe that's going to be the third gate. I'm sorry. It's just almost 75 acres of what DCA is now. That is the third gate. Like I don't see how it could not be. So they're saying that there could possibly be a hotel there. You could possibly add hotels if Disney were to acquire Garden Walk. And yeah, and I just think that would clear up a little bit more land for them to use for park space in the Simba lot. So, I mean, I I agree with you, Billy. Honestly, if I was an Imagineer and I had a say so, or if I was Josh, moving in as CEO or one of the executives, one of the board members, I don't know really who gives like the green light on that. I would, as much as I do like the renovation of the Pixar hotel, I can definitely see it go. I really could. Let's see. Are you there with conductor now? No, we're not at Disney World. We're not at Disney World yet. Yeah, this is just my backdrop. Because Disney World used to be my home base park. Living over on the East Coast. So I haven't been there in May, but as I said, with coming out of the hospital with my kidney stone and everything, and I didn't really get to. I didn't really get to have as much of the experience that I wanted to. So it's going to be nice going back. And Mark McHugh says, George, don't make me go to Texas. And we got Mr. Bryant in the house. Hello, Gelato Familia. Welcome in, Bryant. So glad to see you. And let's see. We have Hidden Geek Village gifting $5. Well, thank you so much, Hidden Geek Village. Good evening, sir. Hope all is well. Yes, everything is going well. Hope everything is going well for you. And I have to give a shout out, not just because he gifted $5, but Hidden Geek Village is a cool cat. He's awesome. I highly respect him, and also his support of us over here on Holo Gelato, and also his support to Mr. Theme Park Conductor. As I said, great to see you. Great to have you in. And again, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Lene Ward said there needs to be a Disney park in Canada. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, because you guys live in Canada, of course. Specifically Vancouver Island, or in between Calgary and Red Deer and Balzac. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Balzac or Balzac? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, that would be cool to have a park in Canada. And actually, with you guys knowing those areas, you would kind of know like what areas would work out for a theme park. That would be really cool. I'd be cool with that. And then Billy Rise is asking, RC Racer looks fun, is it? Actually, that's a great question. I would actually like to know, because as I said, I've seen it before. I've seen it like on YouTube videos, like function. Like, do you get a lot of airtime? Do you get like that, like your stomach is leaving your body kind of feel? I'm curious. Let's see. Do you believe the rumors about a hotel going in Villains Land? So there will be another entrance in Magic Kingdom. I have heard of that, Brian, and I think because they did clear work beyond the berm that goes beyond the railroad, and a lot of people are wondering, why so further out of the berm. And I think honestly, a villains themed hotel. First of all, you're adding another hotel that's more capacity for Walt Disney World. It's adjacent to the Magic Kingdom. And for them to have a villains themed hotel and then you have a private entrance starting into Villains Land, like that would be freaking awesome. Like, I mean, if they were to announce that at D23 alongside with new information on Villains Land, because let's face it, folks, D23, we're going to get news on existing projects, and Villains Land is one of them. So if they were to say, like, alongside with new info on the Villains Land project, maybe give us some more info on the attractions, what's going in the land, maybe a restaurant, merchandise. Then they say, you know what, we're also going to give you guys a villains themed hotel. And then also they're going to give us a haunted mansion themed restaurant adjacent to Villains Land that's nearby to the haunted mansion. That would be really cool. But I don't want it to be a replica of the parlor on the Disney Cruise Line. Like, let that be for that. I want a whole new different kind of experience if it was a haunted mansion restaurant, because I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Can you imagine a haunted mansion themed hotel that it's actually the mansion and it's actually connected to the ride? So it expands the mansion and it has like that still that very gothic style architecture, and like literally you have a hotel that's behind that berm too, but it's connected to the theme of the mansion. That would really be cool. Let's see here. Where am I? Lene says a Canadian Disney would be a great idea. If someone sees Daddy Josh, please pass on my suggestion. I will definitely do that for you, Lene. If I see him during D23 at Disneyland as I'm chasing him down Main Street, I'll mention that too. So that'll be my notions. It would be a Disney theme park in Canada and bring back my hot honey chicken sandwich at Hungry Bear. Billy Ride, CA. It was a private hotel before, I think, too. Disney could design something new from scratch. Very true. And Lene says Disney Canada potential location. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this, Lene. Balzac, Alberta. Oh, Balsac. Okay, so it is Balsac. Okay, so the one time I would have had it right, thinking that I'm mispronouncing it and I'm calling it a Balsac, I actually was right. Kevin on the go says, "Hello, Gelato. It's super quick and it's a good C ticket." Okay, and Kev is referring to the RC Racer. Billy Rides is asking Lene, "Do you think Ontario is a good option?" Let's see. I think at D23 they will announce retheming the Tower of Terror in studios in Paris to Avengers. Okay, I thought you were going to say retheming the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios. That would be an uproar if that was like, and that one I would have to agree upon. Don't change the Tower of Terror at Walt Disney World. They could change the one in Paris, to Avengers. Don't touch Hollywood Studios. Like that's a big no-no, Disney. Epic Berserker says, I've always said a Disney Castle Park in Canada like Toronto or Vancouver because the DCL, yes, I was just going to say that. You actually, perfect. Disney Cruise Line goes to Vancouver, would be a smart castle placement, and a castle park in Cabo would be smart too. Yeah, see, when you do like the land and sea kind of package deal with a Disney park vacation and a Disney cruise, oh man, chef's kiss. Let's see. Lene says Ontario Disneyland. I do, but it's farther away than California from us where we live. So Ontario would work, but it would just be like out of your way. like an inconvenient kind of thing. Mr. Bryant says, I think a better location would be. Okay, I don't know if Ascrack in Canada pronounced as it's spelled. Okay, no, hold on a second here. I'm like, okay, I'm getting schooled with like locations of Canada, and I don't mean this in the wrong way. I'm going to say this with all respect. Who named these ballsack and ass crack? It's like, I love it. I love it. Honestly, I want to name a place in Canada because with my crazy mind, that is like, uh, wait, is that true? Dildo Newfoundland? Is that really what it's called? They could build it in Dildo Newfoundland. That is actually a place. Please tell me that is actually a place. I'm guessing it's native names. It probably like it is a real place. Okay, so wait, so there's ballsack, there's ass crack, and there's Dildo Newfoundland. That's okay. You guys kill me. That is great. I love it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. Where was I? I wish Disney would bring back the Disney Fair. That's interesting. And I remember they used to have like the Disney characters on like other cruise lines as well before they had Disney Cruise Line. I want a Disneyland 5 minutes from my house, even if it's minus 40 degrees sometimes. I think that's what you mean, minus 40? I know how it is when it's like minus 11 out in Pittsburgh. Okay, we already brought that up. And then Brian does LOL. That is hilarious. That is like, I'm going to have to remember all those. Now, there was another thing I wanted to share with you guys because I thought it was very interesting. Let me see if I could locate it. This actually has to do, here we go. Okay, so this actually has to do with Dollywood, believe it or not. And I wanted to share this because I thought this was very interesting. So this is coming from Jake Coasters, a behind-the-scenes look at Dollywood's night flight expedition using Mack Ride's rocking boat model. And I wanted to showcase this because this ride looks very interesting. And not even just for Dollywood, but like for the future of any of the theme parks. Whether they use it for,
Just a few short months from right where I'm standing, guests will board the ride vehicle for Dollywood's newest attraction, Night Flight Expedition. This custom-designed amphibious ride vehicle will navigate them through air, water, and land for a Smoky Mountain adventure unlike any other. Each of these Smoky Mountain tracker vehicles holds up to 10 passengers and takes them on an unforgettable journey to find Secret Lake. Inside this 44,000 square foot building, guests will encounter immersive multimedia projections, dynamic onboard and offboard audio, and incredible lighting effects, all during a one-of-a-kind 5.5-minute experience from the time they load in to the time they load out. Now, you may be wondering, why do guests need to board an amphibious coaster vehicle that can navigate through air, water, and land? Well, Night Flight Expedition combines 4 thrilling experiences into one, some of which you can see behind me.
They're kind of
to my left, you can see Coaster Track. Following your nighttime flight over the Great Smoky Mountains, this is where guests will experience the more traditional coaster aspects of the ride, climbing along a beautiful mountain ridge before plunging far below into a shimmering lake to find the spectacular nighttime glow of the Smokies. And below me, you can see where guests will take a thrilling whitewater rafting excursion. Now, Night Flight Expedition is not a water ride because it does things no water ride can do. What it does is mimic the whitewater rapid adventures that the Smokies have become known for. During the ride, guests will encounter and navigate through more than 500,000 gallons of surging water, creating an exhilarating whitewater experience in the Great Smoky Mountains. As you can see, this one-of-a-kind experience is under quite a bit of construction. Follow along with us on our next episode as we continue to uncover the secrets of Secret Lake and this immersive indoor adventure coaster. Can you keep a secret?
Yeah, it's called Night Flight. Only at Dollywood. So yeah, I did want to share that because I forgot that I wanted to share that with you guys. But okay, let's get back to the chat here. Where are we? Let's see. Imagine saying ass crack as your residence mail. I think like, yeah, like any of them, like ball sack, ass crack, dildo. What is it called? Never you mind? Never Newfoundland. Okay, here's my idea. Disney doesn't need another cruise ship. It needs a train. Oh, like a luxury train vacation. Ooh, and you know what? That would come full circle because Walt Disney loved trains. That was the whole foundation of him building Disneyland in the first place. He was going to build a train park. And it was actually going to be like around his studio lot. And yeah, I like that idea. Literally do, theme park, do at sea, and then do on track. That would be awesome. Yeah, it's a real place. Tumbledown Dick Island is a small island located in Newfoundland at Labrador, Canada. Okay. Wait. So Tumbledown Dick Island, located in Newfoundland, which that also is Dildo, Newfoundland, and Labrador, Canada. I have to come out to Canada. This is absolutely amazing. In 1996, Disney had the Disney Fair that came to Arizona State Fair, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pull you up. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this all right. Known as Washington State. Okay, pew all up. Pew all up. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh. You guys are too much. You guys are killing me. Joel, make it rain. I forgot what the movement on the I forgot the movement on the Eastern Gateway was. If you can elaborate on that, John, like, what do you mean? Like, you forgot what the movement of like the construction, or if you could elaborate on that question a little bit. There's a lot of hilarious names of towns in Eastern Canada. Dildo, Cuckold Cove, Spread Eagle, Newfoundland. Oh man, this is awesome. This is great. I swear, I want to do a whole like travel around like Canada and like just see like how many of these areas I could find. This is amazing. And Canada has tons of beautiful scenery. Like that would be on top. That'd be like icing on the cake for me. Plus, I've never been to Canada. I want to travel the world. That's like my like long-term dream of just seeing as many places and locations as I possibly can. That's what we would get. That's what we would get instead of a park, I think. Disney should build an actual river like in that video that describes to be loud if they were at Animal Kingdom, but they could have an exterior of the park. Imagine getting to go river rafting. Oh, interesting. With actual paddles and whatnot. Dick Island sounds like Gelato favorite. That would be the new kind of Survivor Island. And Billy Rye, CEA, Disneyland Canada. And John, you had said, yeah, so I assume you're like for the Eastern Gateway with like the construction process. So yeah, so for the Eastern Gateway, what they initially have to do is they're going to build the construction of the new parking structure, which is going to be huge. That's going to go over by across the way from the Disneyland Resort. That's going to go in the Team Disney building, but not the main building. And so when they do that, they can free up all the other parking lots with Simba lot and Lilo and Stitch. And then eventually, they can, do something with the Toy Story lot, which, as I said, I think for me, that's going to be the third gate and new hotel. And then if they buy the Garden Walk, more hotels, and then Conductor's thought process would be to buy up the Anaheim Convention Center and kind of like flatten that out and, add that more to expansion for the Toy Story lot for the third gate, and then turn the Angel Stadium into a new Anaheim convention area. And then you have the OC vibe where they could potentially have the transportation of the sky lifts and everything, and it connects to the Honda Center and what have you. So that was Conductor's big ambitious plan. And honestly, I could see Disney doing something like that because Disneyland Forward is a 40+ year project and investment. This isn't something that's going to be done within 10 to 15 years. It's like triple that. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Let's see. Theory: if Disneyland gets Westcott, it will be the only Disney park with more than 3 parks beside World. Oh, let's see. Like that is true. I never really thought of it that way. That really is true because all the other international parks either have 1 park or 2. It would be the second that has the most theme parks outside of World. Very good observation, Billy. That's a really, I didn't really think about it. It's simple, but yet I didn't think about that. I do know, I have a feeling at D23, there's only 1 park in Shanghai, but with Iger leaving at the end of the year, I think he's going to want to sneak that announcement in so he can kind of, put his place on, because Shanghai was his baby, and I think they're going to announce a second park gate for Shanghai. I really do. Disneyland Canada would also be in French and English, like in Paris. Also come to Canada, George and Abby. We definitely will, honestly, Lene. You guys just like encouraged me to want to come to Canada. I'm always up for new adventures, and that's one of the main reasons why I have Holo Gelato like it is. It's not just doing theme parks, but it's doing just out of worldly things, seeing the world, going on trips and adventures and seeing new places and scenery. So yeah, I'm definitely all for it, Lene. I definitely will be. And when we do, I will definitely let you guys know. I think they could change the name to Disneyland World Resort. I don't know how the California locals would feel about that. I still think they would keep it Disneyland Resort, but I see where you're going with it, Billy, because essentially, they are essentially trying to make their own version and interpretation of Disney World. It will never, ever be exact. That was like a needle in a haystack, lightning in a bottle, that Walt Disney was able to purchase that amount of land at once. But yeah, so I think Disneyland could do their best, to get their own kind of version. I could see. If you guys were ever in Calgary, we would take you guys to the zoo. That's cool. Then you guys could be our tour guides of Canada. Disneyland World Resort would be perfect. I support this. Okay, Lene's all for it. There is another town called Blow Me Down, Newfoundland, and Labrador. I don't know if it's close to Dildo. It's literally called Blow Me Down. Oh, man. Oh, my Lord. Jesse Adventure, you should definitely come up to Washington State. We have awesome scenery. Yeah, you know what? Here's my thing. This is what I'm going to say to all you guys, because you guys are giving me great observation, because not only am I connecting with you guys of the content that I'm giving you out here in California and Florida and on the Disney Cruise Line, but also of where you guys are from. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts, suggestions, like locations that you would like for me and Abby to experience, explore, document, yeah, definitely let us know. So yeah, I'm definitely all for it. So Canada, Washington State, I'm all for it. Like, yeah, throw me your your suggestions, your ideas, locations, because I've never been to these places. So yeah, so definitely reach out anytime. You guys can find me and Abby on Instagram under Hollow Gelato. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. So there's two ways. And then Abby has her own Instagram, Abby, I think _Clavacia, I believe that's what it is. So you have four ways of reaching out to us on Instagram. And then you could also find me on X on Disney Italiano. So you guys can private message me. I know Matthew does all the time. Peter does. Kev, Rudio, all you guys, Epic Berserker, you guys message me all the time. So if you have any suggestions or anything, yeah, don't be shy. Or if you guys don't have those social media platforms, you could definitely, anytime I do a live show or even in one of just the videos, just put it in the comments. I read all comments. I never let a comment be unread, and I will like it. I will respond to it. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know that. Let's see. There's a dinosaur museum an hour away from us, like a good one. We met people from Orlando there the last time we were there. That's cool. And Lene says, yeah, Canada is great. We have the best names. Yeah, I can see that. I never knew that. I just got a crash course on that tonight. Yeah, man, Newfoundland is a weird place. Wait till you hear how those people talk. Man, I can't wait. That would be awesome. And Epic Berserker says, Seattle would be fun. They have a drink called Screech, and to get screeched in... Wait. They have a drink called Screech, and to get screeched in you have to take a shot, then kiss a fish. It's tradition. Huh. I honestly, I would do that. I would do that for the content's sake, for you guys to see me kiss a fish. I've kissed worse, so... Eastern Canada is gorgeous. Same with the West Coast. I lived on Vancouver Island and miss it dearly. That sounds cool. And you know what? Maybe because there are some Disney cruises that I've been looking at for future reference, and some of them either start in Vancouver or they end in Vancouver. So maybe if me and Abby do one of those cruises, we'll either do the cruise, port in Vancouver, and then we'll do our Canada little trip and fly back, or we'll do our Canada trip and then go to the port in Vancouver, take our Disney cruise, and then fly back from there. I think it'd probably be easier to probably end the cruise in Vancouver, do our Canada trip, and then fly back. I think that would probably be better. But yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Eastern Canada is a vibe, though. The culture is so good. It's also super friendly. Okay. Let's see. Kiss the Cod buys. You get a certificate that makes you an honorary Newfie? Newfie, is it? Okay. Newfie is what Newfoundlanders are called. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be okay. That'd be interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate you guys all so much. I think we're gonna be wrapping up here. This was a great live. You guys are always awesome. Every time I do a live, I love the engagement. I love the questions. I love your opinions. I just love the conversations. I love hanging out with you guys. You guys literally make all this possible. You guys make this so fun that it makes me want to do this. Again, big shout out to Chris West, Matthew Murr, and Hit It Geek Village for the super chats. Greatly appreciate all the support. And again, a big shout out to everybody in the chat: Mark McHugh, Lene Ward, Giant Peter Adventures, Rudio, Mr. Bryant. I'm going to go through Epic Berserker, Jesse Adventure, John Make It Rain, Kev on the Go. Let's see. I want to give a shout out. Billy Ride CA. And definitely welcome in, Billy. That was great. Hitting, as I said, Hitting Geek Village, Chris West, Matthew Murr. I want to make sure I get everybody here because this was a great Remy D. We have Tones. I believe we had Candid Camper in the very beginning. We have Alan, Florentin, Mr. Theme Park Conductor, of course. I'm so glad he was able to join. And shout out to Theme Park Conductor. Please, if you enjoy my content, you will definitely enjoy his. We do a lot of collaborations, so definitely go over to Theme Park Conductor. Of course, my babe, the hollow to my gelato, Abby, Shelly Nicholas. There was a lot of you guys in here today. That was awesome. Tommy Toon. Thought there was somebody else in here that came in briefly. Oh, here we go. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to butcher it. So I'm just going to bring it up on screen. And thank you for joining, Mademoiselle. And yeah, that's that covers everybody. And yeah, so I want to thank you all so much for the love and support. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm gonna just finish up here with the comments. I like going to the Kennedy Space Center. That's a good one. There is a Broadway musical called "Come From Away," all about Newfoundland. It's amazing. I gotta definitely check that out. And Lene says this was the best. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lene. They do that in the musical Come From Away. Oh, cool. And are you guys going to be headed to Kennedy Space in Orlando? There's a very funny story I have with that place. Unfortunately, not this trip, Giant Peter, just because we have a lot already on the itinerary. But we definitely will make it to be to pick a time to do that. And thanks, George. You're so welcome, Mark. So glad you were able to join. You had me in tears with some of your pronunciations, George. Thank you. Yeah, I'm my pronunciations, I don't even like some of that stuff, but I'm glad you enjoy it, Brian. So thank you. And Lene says, ooh, have you seen any of the space launches or what the skies or watch the skies, geez Louise, for spaceships now that there's a space launch place in California? Not yet, but I have like heard, I've heard it, but I would love to actually see it for myself. Yes, and that's very true. Shelly was new. Thank you, John, for that. And Lene says, this was definitely our bright spot today, George. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lene. That really means a lot to me. And Epic Berserker says, good seeing you, bro. Have a good evening. Thank you so much, Epic Berserker. And again, thank you all so much for this awesome live. This made my day. So this was great. The big issue revolving on that story is that there is 0 bathrooms within the final 20 or 30 minutes of getting to the Kennedy space, since it's in the middle of swampland. Well, definitely I'd have to drain out before then, because that would be a huge problem. So, but in any case, folks, thank you so much for joining. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I will be doing more Holo Gelato lives like this, and possibly more on location in the parks. Definitely a lot of content coming out when we're in Florida. And even after the March trip, there's going to be a lot more to come. So please definitely check out. We do videos, we do lives, vlogs, shorts. We cover it all here. And that's also part of Holo Gelato, as it means in Tagalog. Holo holo means mixing it up. And that's what we do here. And we have a lot of other fun surprises coming to the channel on the horizon. So again, thank you all so much. Mademoiselle says good night. Peter says, have a good night, everyone. Holo out. I like that. I love that. Oh my God, I love a good half to oopsie poopsie giant panda. That's interesting. Even gas stations too. Okay, folks. So in that oopsie poopsie. On that note, I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much again. I know I keep on repeating myself when I say thank you so much, but I truly, really mean it. That I can't even say thank you enough for everything, and it's greatly appreciated from both me and Abby. So in any case, I'm George the Disney Italiano, and as I always say in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.